Good morning, everyone. I already cleaned the barn, so. Oh, there's always all this interesting stuff that I come across. And then, of course, I can't help myself. I look at the rest of it, it's always humanity, and just wonder on where our attention lies. I'll give you a simple one to start with, then we'll get into the other stuff. I saw a post this morning that was, I guess, kind of tagged in or mentioned in, with a hint kind of, where people older than 37, you know, you don't have to leave 2 spaces anymore after a period. That's over with. Gotten rid of that, right? Old school. You're free. Huh? What? Really? Huh? I don't know. What does that mean? And what does it matter? Besides, I never do that. If anyone's doing that, the computer does that by itself, you know? Like they make up words. I put a word in, and then they decide, we don't like that word. We're going to put another one in. I have to go and read through it. I have to proofread, not myself, the computer. Okay? Now, and then you're telling me people over 37 who still do certain things old school, they're the ones who are slaves. I'm telling you what, the mistakes. Now, I still make mistakes because I didn't go to school here and learn English. Right? All the crap. I had to do that all on my own, and I did. I think I'm doing pretty all right. So, the chugging, that was, I don't know if either one would work. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. So, young people don't know how to spell anymore. A few years younger than me, okay, don't know I guess we were the younger generation at some point. People I know went to Harvard and I don't know what. Don't know how to spell properly, okay? That's why they never say anything. Oh, there's spell check. Well, as I said, you can't trust the computer either. The computer doesn't know how to spell things neither. So, I'm sure it's just kind of a funny one, you know, this, that. But again, it's like, no, what does that mean? And what's it to you if someone uses no space, 1 space, or 2 spaces after a period? And what does that have to do with being free? It's a simple example, in a way, to show on how you want people to change, not for the better, not for something better, just something different. And then kind of go, oh, you're still doing it like that. Well, you're not going with the times. Well, I'm telling you what, you guys better start going with the older times. Okay? Get along with less, for example. So, we're going to get into that other thing now I want to talk about. I've got to give this boy a little bit too. My husband was visiting last night, and he said, hey, watch this. He starts first talking about on how this guy out there, his name is Bill Whittle. And he's a astronomer, very well known, been doing this for a long time, and I guess he's somewhat of a visionary as well, okay? So, and he said, my husband said, well, he says that, you know, in order for another system like ours to exist, there are all these variables that have to be right, okay? Yeah, I know, you know what? Here he goes. Yeah? Instead of people over 37 who still use 2 spaces because that's where they taught That's what they were taught. That's what they're doing, how they're doing it now. It ain't hurting no one. It's not like you can't read it now, this or that. Okay? Instead of that, kind of, no, your math. No, your periodic tables. No, your multiple tables. Huh? I mean, people don't. No clue, don't know anything. Just go with all the nonsense out there. So this guy, so my husband starts and says, hey, according to him, and when you see what, okay, so one system, a star out there may have a certain other parts of what we have, but that's just one thing. Then when you go and look farther, okay, well, does it have this as well? There is so much that makes up our solar system here that with as much looking this and that they've done out there, they have never been able to find one that exists in the same exact way, which makes our planet habitable. You guys go listen. His name is Bill Whittle, okay? The video is 330 something or something. Well, in any case. Anyways, I'm listening to my husband going, I've been saying that for I don't know how long. You know, you guys all want to believe in aliens. Well, don't want to really believe in God, right? And the really amazing thing he's created here. And the farther they go into science and astronomy with all that, they realize, whoa. He also said, okay, so then he also explained, and we watched a little bit of, I said, okay, it's an hour and something. I want to watch that all by myself when I can really concentrate on what he's saying because I'm interested. Right? Now I'm going, ha, 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 ha. Here it is, okay? I've been saying this from a spiritual standpoint, with near-death experiences who are very consistent. People have them all over the world, not in weird, but it's always kind of in the same way, okay? They have different experiences, yes, but when it comes down to it, and here are the alien stuff. The UFOs, which have no hands and feet. There's I don't know how many green and gray people out there, okay? I've never seen one with weirdo eyes and I don't know what. Never been. I've invited them. Hey, come on, let's have a talk. No, they don't want to come see me. So who are they going to see if they do exist? Weirdos? Okay, just saying. Right? So here, now, that's what I've been saying. According to, this is not possible yet. Have civilizations like ours in all the millions years not existed? Well, a wander in the spirit world will tell you different. But again, how do we understand that when it comes from spirit world? Okay. So, another thing, so here, scientific proof. It isn't possible. With everything on how this works here, how complicated actually it is set up to have everything work in the principles of creation. It's not possible out there. It isn't. Absolute, no proof of nothing. The reason they had water on Mars, or at one point they think, I don't know how many millions, billions of years ago, right, didn't sustain it because the rest of the setup wasn't there. You see? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm just saying here. Okay, I'm not a studied person. I didn't go to college and university. I'm out there, I study myself, I kind of go with my own intuition, with spirit world, with what I believe in, and I'm going, no, it doesn't seem to be possible. And I've said that. Yeah. Until someone else comes along, like this guy, and no one believes me. But here, I got the scientific proof now. You and your aliens, not sure which planet you're from, but it's humbug. All of it. You need to lay off the drugs and the booze. Okay. So, having said that, well, I have no doubt that psychological drugs, pharmaceutical stuff, this, that, that people are getting can cause that too. Hallucinations. Yes. Okay, well, having said that. Now, there's another one. Another really interesting thing about it is that, and I have also, Maddie, you're sitting there. She's like, you're yelling. I know, right? I'm so excited. I can hardly hide it. He said that some time ago. I haven't looked that up yet. As I said, I'm in the beginning stage of studying up on what science, mainly one person, it seems like, who's got all the degrees, got the smarts, and looks out there and goes, studied all that for years and years and years and years with the best equipment, and goes, yep, we're the only ones. So he says, as well, the Earth's core, the magnetic thing, this, blah, 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 as I said, I haven't read up on all on that yet. But I will, because I'm excited. Started to slow down at one point. And it really, if that stops spinning, then we're dead. And this is it. We're going to expire eventually, right? Maybe not in a big old boom, but we will. Okay, so, and he says that they're really worried the more that started to happen, what's going to happen with the Earth's core, and then the Earth itself with the spinning radius and all that. Well, so it turns out that suddenly there was this protection around the inner magnetic core, and it reactivated it as if there was a backup plan. The setup, it's not just Earth, and then, okay, this is what's needed to make the Earth go do this so that everything rotates and everything, kind of stays within. And I mean, there's so much that goes with it. It's mind-boggling. Right? And on top of that, there are things in place to restore. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. To restore or to back up, like a backup generator, right? When the electricity goes out, you have a backup generator that kicks in. Same thing. It's kind of like that, the easiest to explain. Hey, Gus! Gus is having a interesting time out there. Gus! Okay. Well, I heard that, which I didn't know. I've never come across that we actually have this problem. And to many people, going, oh, well, I have never either. Well, as I said, I have to still go and read up on it. But I remember the ozone layers, which, there's not just one layer. There's more than one. There's more than one ozone layer. And so if one goes kaplooey, well, no, not such a big deal. We still have some other ones per se, but we had holes in our ozone. And a few years ago, they suddenly started to realize that the ozone layers are repairing themselves. Oh, how's that possible? Well, at the same time, so they don't know. At the same time, they found out, just about around the same time, they found out that black holes don't just suck things in, they also expel things. And I have said this, I don't know for how long, that there's a give and take, right, in a black hole on what we know and what actually is going on. So what was expelled out of them black holes? Well, I don't know. I mean, as I said, I'm not the scientist, but when I think, according to God's point of view, according to the kind of creator that he is, right, when needed, there is a backup solution, a backup that gets tripped to fix certain things to keep Earth sustainable. To me? Okay, there's another one, an atheist in the Antarctic, that's now many, many years ago, I read about, and he came across, they were doing trying to carbon date the the dirt there in the Arctic. I don't know why they go to the Arctic for that. Maybe it's just the best place, oldest place. I don't know. Any case, so they go there and they found about 10,000 year old crust. They could not explain. They could, as I said, scientists they've gotten so far. They can do all this stuff, this, that, and pretty accurate about things. They could not explain those about 10,000 years of Earth crust. Why that was there, how that happened, because according to their schematics, there was no way that could be there. That scientist became a believer in God. He says, the only reason that could have happened is because there was some kind of an intervention that happened and it had to be from a higher being done. Okay. Became a total believer, right? Well, in any case, so there's these things, right? Again, where I have to say, wow, more and more, even in science, right, they're discovering these amazing things about the principles of creation that are not sure what happened, but it happened. So, yeah. Wouldn't it be worth it to just pay a little bit more attention to things like that and strengthen your belief in God and spirit world, the principles of love and the principles of creation? My husband said a good one yesterday. He said, happiness is not to have comfort. Happiness is to have a purpose. Whoa, yeah, absolutely. Happiness is to have a purpose. Anywho, and with God and spirit world, Jesus, the Bible, even the completed Testament age, the divine principle, true parents, the blessing, things just make so much more sense. They make more sense, and your life has a purpose. To do what? Mainly, to be a good person, to have a good heart to mind, to be fair, consistent, take responsibility, listen to your conscience. And, of course, once you're an adult, you start looking forward to having a family and raising children. To have a husband or a wife to be with you for the rest of your days. Right? Grow that love. Does it always have to be? Yeah. Oh my gosh. We know what that does out there again. Right? Just saying. Right? Yeah. Okay, I have to let the guys in. I'm totally behind here. I'm coming, guys. Don't go nowhere. Very excited. As I said. But what's the flip side of that? People out there telling people over 37, hey, you don't have to use toothpaste. Okay, I'm not even going to go back into this. So dumb. It's so dumb. Not even. I know. Oh, well, it's just supposed to be funny. Really? Are we sure about that? It was just supposed to be funny? Or, right, old school teaches you at least still the basics. New school, not sure. But it's important to know what 2 spaces, 1 spaces. I don't use any spaces after a period. How about that? Well, it's Daniela. She always has to do things differently. Well, you know what? I didn't even know that existed. That there is some kind of a... Cece told me, yeah, I always use 2 spaces. That's how I was taught. Yeah, I said, yeah, you're a slave. You're not free anymore. boy, can't mess with it right now, had some kind of something going on his eye, or right around it. I put some stuff on, that should be alright. You go on, buddy. I saw a guy cuddling a donkey. It was cute. And he held it up and going, yeah, I'd like to see him do that with Sage. Come on, let's go, guys. Look at you girls. You gonna let me out? Huh? Come on, let's go. Someone has to back up. Huh? You guys are filling up the doorway. You're so fat. Come on. I know, I'm not trying to. All right, come on. Yeah. Worrying about 2 spaces after a period. And you're old school or not free. Man, I have to say, as I said, where's the focus here on learning? Right? Where's the focus? There's a guy asked some people. They were well dressed. They didn't look poor or anything. Okay, I'll tell you something right now. Poor people, well, smarter than, okay, all right, then yellow. I can't help it. The guy asked, so, how much is 3 times 3 times 3? 3 times 3 times 3. Out of the 15 or 20 he asked, not one of them could solve that problem. Not one of them. I assume they all didn't make it past or through high school. And if they did, tell me how. How did they do it? Oh. I mean, I feel, honestly, it's going to be my last one. And this would be a good one. This is at least a truthful one. I feel sorry. I really feel sorry for many young people out there who study, become something useful out there, have a purpose in life. They're going to be carrying all those dumber than coal buckets, hoodlums, this and that eventually. Because they'll be good for nothing. And there's going to be a lot of them. So that's sad, isn't it? Yeah? They don't want to work. They just want the handouts. And as I said, the percentage, you got to check it out, the percentage of people who are actually, not saying are getting a good education or whatever, the percentage of people out there who still know how to do things, okay, in all areas of whatever, is becoming fewer and fewer. And the percentage of people who are just laying around at home doing absolutely nothing, though there's nothing wrong with them, are getting into drugs and I don't know what else, okay? Get on whatever, check they can get, this and that, are getting more and more and more. Becoming more and more and more dependent on the government that I have to say eventually, who's going to be sitting there? Yeah. They're all old people, a lot of them are. Eventually they're going to die. Well, some of them, are so old and they can't even, okay. All right, last one. Pelosi's husband. So this video, by the way, that they're showing now all over the place, though it says an hour ago and this and that, is from like 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago. or 2 years ago, okay? And I guess just now the footage comes out. Why? I don't see the purpose of that. What I'd like to, and of course, did he ever go to jail or this? I don't know. They don't say. They just show the video, okay, on how disgraceful an older man drinking and driving and crashed his sports car. He could have killed someone. He could have killed a child, right? Look how old he is. Yeah. That's very sad too, right? Yeah. The sad thing that it seems like and it sounds like more and more people will end up like that. Just dumber than coal buckets. At that age, you don't know that you don't drink and drive. Wow, and then you are, you have a wife who's basically whatever. And then, I mean, whoa. I've seen people say, oh yeah, well, no wonder he drinks, this. Okay, that's not, if he wants to drink because his wife is just whatever, that's, I mean, how is that my business? But drinking and driving, yeah, that becomes my business. Yeah. So, did he spend any time in jail? Oh. What fine did he pay? Did he get, he should never have a license again. I hope he doesn't. Does he? Yeah. So, well, in any case, it's a weird stuff going on out there with, and then last one. Have to mention that. The FDA. What's the FDA? The FDA is supposed to check things that are getting developed that are healthy for us. Especially healthy for our children. And don't make them sick. Okay, all right. So, well, they're making sure, that there's no poison in the food. Oh, okay. Well, what? That doesn't kill you instantly? So, things, I need to have a little chick food because I'm hearing the babies out there. One of them still had babies, but they're all doing good. She's been a good mama. I'm coming, honey. Okay. That's taken care of. Oh, you guys want it out here this time? Here you go. So, how did I get into that? Well, I have wondered before because hot dogs can, as proved scientifically, of course nobody wants to believe that now, can cause leukemia in children. I have no doubt, you want some food too? That story, whoever, the scientists that concerned people who came out with that one, I bet you that got squashed real fast. Surely they did not get any awards for excellence finding that out, considering it's hot dogs. Well, so we're looking at, we got all them Go-Gurts. I said, well, kind of, and the pigs get most of them. So he says, my husband says, this is not yogurt, it's whatever it is, but it's a lot of sugar, starch, and, and milk. So I'll go and look. I never even thought of looking. It's yogurt. It's got to be good, especially for children. Go-Gurts are for children. I know adults like them too, but they're for children. And you go and you look what's in it, and you're going, I'm not getting it. Is it really not possible for us to raise our children anymore with better food, with good food? Well, you have to go and read up on your own. Well, I did. But we have a government agency, the FDA, who's supposed to be doing that for us. Why are there so many foods on a shelf in a grocery store that we all full well know as well that's not good for us? I'm going to end up a diabetic. I'm going to end up with high cholesterol, blood pressure problems, right? I'm going to end up with heart problems. I'm going to end up with kidney problems, liver problems. I'm going to end up with all kinds of other problems. Well, then we already know. Wait, but why do we have the FDA? It's the same thing with things that come from out of the country, like ramen or any food that has MSG in it. Well, in small amounts. Do you know how much ramen young people eat? That's not a small amount anymore. Okay, I'm just saying. Why are we paying for a government agency that couldn't care less if we get over time poisoned? Anyway. And yeah, we're making our own choices here as well. But how about the children? Do the children know? Does a baby know? When you give it the formula, when you give it these baby foods, have you looked in it and what there is all in it? And did you go and check out all these? And on when they consume a certain amount and what that could cause? Allergies. More susceptible to just getting sick because the immune system is just shot. Just asking. So why do we have that particular government agency if they don't give a hoot anyway, especially about our children? These Go-Gurts are absolute crap. They really are. They're not going to kill a child, probably not over many years, but a child, if they like Go-Gurts, the parents, well, it's a healthy thing, but don't ever check it out. Over time, your child will develop a problem. Diabetes 2, for example. It's loaded with sugar and not much else. So, just saying, here you go. You think you're giving your children something good instead of, the juice pops, which are even worse. But anyway, it's, why are they on the shelves? Not getting it, right? I mean, really? And then people are surprised. Surprised when they get sick, this and that. Anywho, probably not so surprised. I think, yeah, well, in any case, there is all kinds of things where, why are doctors not advocating teaching moms, you need to breastfeed. And I'll tell you why. You need to breastfeed if at all possible. You have to do that. Number one, it is the best thing for your child. Number two, the likelihood of you getting breast cancer shrinks a lot. It's true. Go read up on it. Okay? Go read up on it. And why? Why that is. Amazing. So, but as I said, on top of that, it's disconcerting that our own laziness actually is represented in the organization, in the government, the FDA, that's supposed to, do the job for us. Just saying. If they're not, then why do we have them? Aren't we paying for all of them too? Sure we are. How many people are involved in that whole shenanigan? So, in any case, so there it is. Even with apples and oranges, you gotta watch what you're buying. Everything's got sprayed. If a child grabs an apple, that's definitely not organic, now. Who knows what they're sprayed with? And doesn't wash it, just grab. How many apples can a child eat? Unwashed, for example. before the chemicals on the apple that didn't get washed off or whatever is going to start causing some problem. Fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. That's it. Do we need to have everything in the quantities that... Do we? Does everyone have to be a millionaire? Do you need all that money? Do you really? Do you? Or could you do a lot with a lot less? That's $125,000 a year. But holy cannoli. People need that to live? Well, okay, people need that. Okay. I lived in California, in Berkeley, California, for 18 years. I saw people who didn't make it with way more than what we made, my husband and I. And we were fine. We did just fine. And had extra. I did a lot of stuff with the kids. Had the money to do a lot of stuff with the kids. Well, in any case, let's say, quantity over quality. That is our motto here in the U.S. It should be quality over quantity, right? Yes? Yeah. You know the way you stop inflation? I'll tell you. Not by using more. That's another one. You stop inflation by using less. You stop inflation by turning around that penny in your hand 3 times and say, do I really need to spend that on that particular thing? Right? When you go to the grocery store, pass up all the comfort foods and say, I need to get my family some organic food, and something, as I said, there's this book, Food for a Poisoned Planet. And it's got red light, yellow light, and green light. It's a great book for people to say, okay, well, I can't afford that. Okay, you can afford plenty. You can afford that as well. You can afford good food out there. I know not one person that I know, for richer or poorer or whatever, that cannot afford good food, because I see what else they can afford. They don't need, not necessary to have, right, yet. So, I wanted to share that. Maybe our children's intelligence, in a way, has gone down because in the world, or here in the United States, and they become these hoodlums out there, it's because their brains just wasn't fed properly with good food. They should do some studies on that. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I said enough. God's love and blessings always. We'll talk to y'all another time.